second topic I wanted to chat about today is the proliferation of different shopping agents that are out there now. We're seeing everybody talk about shopping agents, both from the perspective of like conversational commerce, but there's this different take on how the shopping agents work, whether you're a large brand or a smaller brand. And it's almost like a little bit of an AI arms race when it comes to these shopping agents. Tell me a little bit about how you might be reacting to a shopping agent if you're a large brand versus a small brand here.
I think the first question that you have to ask yourself is, where are you positioned towards the agent that is of interest to you? Do you own the entire portfolio, or are you a participant in the game? So
Right.
a lot of companies, especially smaller companies, will not necessarily have the ecosystem or the brand awareness or just the patience of their shoppers to have a dedicated bespoke. If you have just a handful of product, you really need a conversational agent. Maybe you need to have a different approach. There's a challenge for you, like it's kind of a SEO on steroids of how do you get in a sea of product that gets recommended, how do you make sure that you're positioned well, that you're described well?
It's disrupting the whole way shoppers find products these days, right? I mean, it used to be go to Google, do a search, click on an ad, and whatever ranks the highest, you kind of like, oh, that's where I'm going to go shop. But now that whole paradigm has changed.
The ergonomics are also different, as people are getting a lot more fine, like they're a lot more refined into their inquiries. They will ask more probing questions. So then it becomes, are you competitive in that new market? Do you have the data estate? Because ultimately, the fuel of those agents is knowledge. How much do they know about their product? How much content is it out there? How well contextualized it is? Are you going to say the right thing? We've seen agents, especially in the early experimentation. We've done experimentation internally. We've seen some products in the market where you ask a question, it will actually recommend a product of your competition. That's because you don't control the entirety of the knowledge that is being fed into that agent, and that becomes a real danger.
So if I'm a large retailer and I've made this multi-year investment in commerce for a new platform, a new store, building this experience, I own my reviews, I own my data, like my product catalog, that kind of thing. Do I invest in building my own agent, or do I like try to co-opt these third-party agents that are out there?
I think there's value in trying to do your own. I think the ecosystem is very nascent. I think it's very interesting. You get to learn a lot. And it also gives you the unfair advantage that you own the learning. So all of the
you don't
queries.
Have to share it with your competitors.
Exactly. All of the queries. One of the unsung benefit that we saw from conversational agents is it allows you to poke holes in your own inventory. What are the questions that your consumer are asking that you don't have an answer for? How fast can you patch that answer? Is it through new content? Are you unaware that this is some of the things that
things you didn't know you were missing?
Micro trends, how quickly can you react onto this? By owning that estate and having that line of sight into your data landscape allows you to play a lot faster than if you either get something out of the box or trying to play into a bigger ecosystem where your incentive there are completely different.
Now let's flip that question on its head. So now, instead of a large retailer, I'm a small retailer, right? I'm in marketplaces. I don't necessarily own my data. Like I mean, maybe I own my individual products, but I don't own this large data set. I don't have that luxury that a large retailer does. What's my strategy there? Do I go all in on these third-party agents and kind of hope to build my momentum, or do I take a different track?
You know what? That's a good question. I mean, if you're bold, I think it would be interesting to be able to go like with those micro agents, especially if you're governing a lot of public site. I know a lot of people are doing social commerce If you're going into social media and you have a lot of brand equity, or your brand equity is building, I think it would be interesting to be able to go on display. I would love to see more of this happening. I think, unfortunately, it's kind of also a reflection of like who owns the rest. If you do fulfillment through a third party, or you do commerce by a third party, then you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't play into that ecosystem. But the rules of the games are very different. You have to optimize different.